At 500 Wilson Avenue, Nordic Condos. This is a brand new condominium development that was recently completed in the area. It's on Wilson between Bathurst and Tippett, closer to the Wilson subway station side. This is a great community. I really like Clanton Park. I think that the schools, the parks, and the accessibility here is second to none in the GTA because you're right beside TTC Line 1. You can easily get both to downtown Toronto and to York University on public transit. From this location, it's quite walkable to get to the subway. It's really less than a 5-minute walk. But then you're also beside Allen Road and Highway 401, which can take you across the city, whether you're going to Peel region, Durham region, if you're going up to the 400 and you're going north to Barrie, or you're going to Newmarket or Keswick along the 404. You can really get anywhere from here. The purpose of this video is I'm going to be looking at 3 units in this building, and I'm going to be talking about the layouts, the floor plans, and what I personally think, because there are some really well priced units. I'm going to be looking at a 3-bedroom, at a 1+ den, and a 1-bedroom. And just to put it into perspective, the 1-bedroom condo I'm going to be looking at is listed for only $388,000. Brand new condo in Toronto for a great price point. But let's see what the floor plans are all about and what do I think about these units as a Toronto realtor. So there you go. I just turned the camera around and I'm in the first unit. This is a 1+ den on the 6th floor of the building. Here's the den. One thing that does stand out to me is I do like that the den is kind of separated. I think that probably this is too small to be a bedroom, but definitely great for an office or maybe a small kids room. Here's the bedroom, the first bedroom. I like the fact that the layout is kind of practical to an extent. I mean, there is this area here and there. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do with that space. Like this can be a little work area here maybe, but it's far away from the window. And this is something that I'm definitely not a fan of in this unit. And that is this window here in the bedroom. Look how tiny that window is. And the same thing for the living room. So really, in this unit, this is all the natural light that you get. I don't really love that as a realtor, because when I'm working with clients and we're looking at condos, it's all about the natural light. So why would you have less? Why does this unit have so little natural light? Also not a huge fan that you basically open the door and you're in the kitchen. Like literally you're walking into the unit and there's the sink. And the sink is, I guess it's an okay size, but it's not that big. And then, you know, you have these full-size appliances here, like the stove and the microwave and the dishwasher, but you have this small fridge. And this unit's not very big. It's about a 500 square foot 1+ den. I mean, I understand there's limitations when you're working with certain floor plans. You want to fit the unit in, but you're kind of limited. But I mean, walking in, opening the door, like essentially you're walking into the unit, and here's like that's not ideal for me. I would have done a different layout here with the counter space. Maybe even use like smaller appliances. Maybe you don't need a dishwasher and a stove that's that big, but then you get like a little bit more counter space. That this for me is not great. That lack of natural light is definitely not great. And the ceiling height here is, it seems like it's just over 8 feet, but it's not 9 foot ceilings. It's 8 foot maybe and a little bit. I like the fact that the ceilings are flat. Let me take a look at the laundry here in this unit. I like the laundry. You know, it's like a full-size laundry. It fits well into that laundry room. This is basically the coat room here. So it's tiny. Like, I mean, really, this is for what, like one, 2 people max in this unit. I can't really see more than that. And then, yeah, here's the bathroom. So I do like that it's a full-size walk-in shower like that. There's lots of space here in the bathroom too. Like you're not feeling squished in here. So when you close the door, you have really have lots of space here when you close the door. Maybe there would have been a better way to utilize the space. But yeah, and then you have this, you know, little balcony where I started the video. I mean, the balcony is not that little. You can put a couple of chairs out here and enjoy. And then this unit is north facing, so you just get kind of Clanton Park, and then you're over the common area here. But it's you know, nice and quiet in that direction because you're not facing Wilson. And really, it's just basically all detached homes. There are some low-rise apartment buildings there that I think will be redeveloped into something larger in the future. But as far as this area, detached homes, this view will probably most likely be unobstructed. It's not a super high view, but there is a lot of greenery in that view, which I like, and just kind of like the peace and quiet as well of facing into a residential area. So, you know, this 1+ den, there's some things that I like about it. Kind of the layout, the finishes seem to be pretty nice, the flat ceilings, full-size shower, the space in the bathroom, the full-size laundry. But I just can't get over, like, this is your natural light in the living room. Essentially, your window is the size of a door, and that's it. So I'm gonna go to the next unit, which is a 1-bedroom. We're gonna check it out. That's the 1-bedroom that I just mentioned. This price for like $368 or $388. So we're gonna go and take a look at that unit. Oh yeah, another thing that I'm noticing here as I'm just in the hallway is like how narrow the hallways are. This reminds me a lot of the Rocket condominiums. I'm pretty sure this is the same builder that built the Rocket on Monte Quinter. So it's you know, there's a lot of units, like smaller units in this building, similar to there. So yeah, but you're kind of just like, it's a little bit squished. It's not as bad as there. Like there, the ceiling height is also really low, but again, it's just a little bit, feels a little bit squished. Well, let's check out the garbage disposal here. Pretty spacious. You have a tri-sorter there. Pretty standard stuff. Pretty standard. So let's go to the next unit now. So yeah, we're just entering. Interesting. Oh, this is actually not that small 1-bedroom. This is actually a 3-bedroom. So let's see how this layout is and what this unit's all about. You know, for 2 and 3 bedrooms, I like corner units because they offer more lights. So far, what I'm seeing in this unit, I'm going to show you in a minute, but I'm really not understanding what's going on here. First of all, the lights are not turning on, so they must have turned off the breaker. Yeah, because nothing's really on. And you can see here the thermostat's off as well. So I'm going to need to go and find the breaker and then turn it on and then get the power back in the unit, but it's all on. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of try to do it the way that it is now. So here's the main living space. You have these pillars. No doubt they're structural, like solid, yeah, solid sound. So this is bit of an improvement of the natural light. Like there's a window here, then you have window, and then you just have wall, and then wall all the way to your terrace and patio. Let's see what this is all about. So this is basically your balcony. So it's big and long like that. I guess you can entertain, and I guess you can utilize the space here maybe a bit. You do have, again, a nice view of Clanton Park. These are the buildings that I was talking about in the previous unit that I think are going to be turned into condos, because there's like Wilson subway station parking, if you can see that, and that's being turned into condos. The parking lot's been closed for a bit now, but the Wilson station's right there. You get a nice view here also of kind of Clanton Park and the detached single-family homes in the area. And yeah, I just don't really understand why there's such a lack of windows in these units. Again, you have this smaller fridge. Even for this is a 3-bedroom. Why is the fridge the same size as in the 1+ den? Could they have gotten an update? I'm not sure. This is the smallest, I believe, of the bedrooms. Probably. Let's see how the other 2 bedrooms are. I know the first bedroom that I walked into that has the electrical breaker in there is the master. Maybe this is the smallest. This is the smallest, so this is tiny. Like, you can put maybe a single bed for a child there, but not much else. The windows of pretty good size by this building standard. It's actually nice that this little bedroom has all these windows. So in the bedrooms, this unit has some decent natural light, but not in the living space. This is the master. I do like that it has the closet organizers, built-in closet organizer like that. Again, you have these 8-foot ceilings. 9-foot would have been nicer. This is acceptable. This is the master bathroom here with a shower. And yeah, if we go to the second bathroom, it has a bath, but maybe you can't really see it that well because the lights for this unit are off. But you know, this is a brand new unit. I think it's listed for $618,000. I believe that this unit's being sold by the developer, so there is HST on top of that sales tax. But if, for example, you're a first-time buyer and you're buying for personal use, I think you can get that HST back, but you want to check with your accountant. But again, second unit that I've seen in this building. Well, I've seen units here before, but second unit of this video. And again, I'm just seeing these small windows, not a lot of natural light. And I just wonder why. Like, is it a cost thing? Because if it's a design concept, it really doesn't make much sense to me. So I'm going to go now to the 12th floor, and that's that unit that's for sale for $368,000. I think I've shown it to a buyer before. You can get parking as well. Like, you can purchase it with that unit. There's a cost, or I think it's 50 grand or something like that. But yeah, let's go there, and then maybe on the way I can also see if I can film some of the amenities as well. So I'm just on the ground floor now, and I'm actually in the parcel area. So they do use parcel lockers here by a company called Snaily, and this is really good because it takes, you know, that burden of managing mail away from the concierge staff, which has become quite cumbersome, especially since the pandemic. Security staff in buildings have become just like mailman and not really security guards. So happy to see that they have this feature in place here. And very, very, very peaceful here. I like it. I like this little outdoor space. If I lived here, I'd probably spend a lot of time out here. Okay, so I got into the amenity area, and where the gym is, there's some sort of beeping, but I'm not sure what that's all about. But, oh, it's because this door's not closed. So all these doors have these door open alarms. But yeah, here you can check out the gym. Kind of standard, but I think it's not a bad size condo gym. There's a bunch of people working out there, so I didn't want to kind of walk in and do that. And there's a pet wash here too, so of course it's a pet friendly building if it has that. It's a pretty large pet wash. So there's yeah, it's like almost like a sauna or something in there. That's cool. Has a door. It's a pretty nice pet wash. Look at that. Wow. Must be nice to be a pet and live in this building. Okay. So this building is kind of like 2 buildings, but they both have the same address, and the concierge area is in the middle. It's also kind of just has a co-working space type of feel, which is a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing in other condos. You can see what I'm talking about here. Yeah, so there's like music playing, people sitting, doing their homework. It's interesting. It's an interesting feeling in this building. And I'm gonna see if I can check out the amenities, because I was there, but I didn't see where this was. Oh, this elevator is all boarded up. So I do see this a lot in newer buildings, just because there's so many people that are moving in and out that they just, instead of having elevator pads put up and taken down all the way, they just keep them boarded up until, you know, a majority of the residents have moved in. So as I mentioned, there's quite a few units for sale here. Some are by the developer. I don't know if this is people that bought in pre-con and defaulted, or the developer held back some units and now they're selling them. But anything that's being sold brand new, there is HST on top of that. So resale condos or resale homes, there's no taxes on that. The cost is the cost, but here there is that extra cost. But again, there are potentially credits that would be applied to you if you're buying for personal use. So just make sure you talk to, you know, an accountant and your mortgage broker and kind of understand that. So just want to double check. So we're going there. Next unit. I think it's going to be there on the right. Because I'm pretty sure I've shown this to a buyer before. So I'm just going to go and take a look here. It's empty, but I always knock just in case somebody's inside, a cleaner's inside, or something. You never know. Hello? Yeah, it's empty. It's a similar layout to that 1+ den. Actually, I thought, yeah, it's a similar layout to that 1+ den. It doesn't have the den here, it just has a closet in that same area. But again, consistent theme through this building are these, you know, this lack of natural light. Like, I'm not really sure what the reasoning for it is. You know, why did they build that? This unit does seem to have higher ceilings. It appears that here there's 9-foot ceilings. I guess this is probably the top floor. That's why it's almost like a penthouse. Again, here too, right? So you have that vaulted part that's 9 foot here. It's the vaulted part, it's 9 foot. There's no lighting here. You can put a light there. Just take that cover off and it's the electrical access there, and the same thing in the bedroom. But, you know, when whoever bought this unit got it from the developer, or the developer, you know, it was kind of minimal. One thing that I do notice here, as opposed to the 1+ den that I like more, is that you're not walking in and you have the sink right there. You're walking in and you have the fridge, which I think is a little bit better, and there is a little bit of space here as well. So you're not essentially walking in and that's what's happening. One thing that I would do if I was the one that was designing it is, maybe it's not possible, but instead of having the laundry there and the coat closet there, I would have the laundry here and the coat closet there. Again, not sure if that was a possibility, but you know, again, full-size appliances except the fridge. The fridge is a smaller fridge. And yeah, this is the outdoor space. Should be a pretty nice view here of Clanton Park. So let's just kind of check it out, like when you're looking out. So again, there you can see Allen Road and the Wilson Yard. You can see the Rogers Stadium there in the background, or the Rogers Center, where they started to film concerts. I'm pretty sure you can like watch some nice concerts from here. This is some low-rise rental buildings that I believe may be rezoned in the future and rebuilt into something bigger, but I don't see any redevelopment signs or rezoning signs. So it doesn't appear like that's happening really anytime soon, obviously from the next 5 years. There you see Shepherd West and some of the condos on Shepherd West. That's Bathurst and Shepherd, and then there is Yonge and Shepherd. And again, this is a really nice unobstructed view here, you know, kind of peaceful. There is a little bit of noise because I'm hearing construction noise, but again, like on the weekends and the evenings, you wouldn't hear this. And it's yeah, really nice green space. So, you know, really Nordic Condos, my opinion of this is that there are some really good opportunities here, but I don't love the lack of natural light. And it appears that every unit has something similar like that, where basically like a door is your window, and your window is also the door that leads to the balcony. Don't love that design. In this latest unit though, I do like the fact that there's 9-foot ceilings. I think that's great, and that you don't have the sink right beside the entryway door. So that's kind of my opinion about that. But you know, for me, I just can't get over the natural light. I personally would not buy a unit in this building because of the natural light. Maybe as an investment, if I was getting it in a really good price point, and I can kind of rent it out for, you know, to good tenants because of the accessibility. But again, I feel like the lack of natural light might also prevent me from being able to secure good tenants in the future. So as I was just walking through the building, I also wanted to just come out and show where we are on Wilson Avenue, like how close this is actually to the subway. So that next light is Wilson Heights and Tippett, and after that is Wilson subway station. So essentially you're here, you're on Wilson Avenue. You have, yeah, so essentially you're here on Wilson Avenue. You know, this is what it's like out front of the building. It can get a little bit busy. I guess that factor is not for everybody, but you know, you do have Clanton Park on the rear there, so you do have some parks and playgrounds and areas for kids to play. But Wilson Avenue just is becoming busier and busier, and especially now that they opened that Rogers Stadium or Rogers Center, where they hold some concerts, it does get pretty busy on the days when they do have events and they have concerts. But you know, overall, other than that, I think it's pretty great. Like, as long as you're okay just with the fact that Wilson's a little bit busier. And this is the kind of roundabout entrance. So parts of the building are still in construction. This is where you get into the underground garage through there. It's all connected, and there's kind of like a loading bay, fire route, no parking area here, where you can see there's trades and things are parked, and then there's multiple access points to get into the building. So my name is Alex Waniecki, Toronto Realtor of Remax Condos Plus. This has been another episode of Your Toronto Condos, and this is something new that I'm starting to do, where I'm taking you with me, exploring the condominium industry, looking at the building, seeing what I'm seeing, checking out the units that I'm checking out, and getting my unfiltered, unbiased perspective as a Toronto Realtor. Hope you found this video to be of value. As always, if you can like, I appreciate that, and I'll see you next time on Your Toronto Condos.